and the train will see us.
Maybe the camera should be over here. I don't know if you can see it. Right.
I think so. Is that good, Sasha? All right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, we should be over here.
All right. Can you come over here somewhere? Yeah, that's good. All right. So tell me when you're ready, Sasha.
We are ready.
All right. Okay, thank you everybody for coming out. On July 6th in 2013, a train in Lac-Mégantic, Quebec, derailed, exploded, it was full of oil, and killed 47 people. We're gathered here today to remember these human beings who died for our fossil fuel dependent way of life. Very soon now, you will hear their names and can reflect on their lives. But first, I want to take the opportunity to inform you, or remind you if you already do, that trains with exactly the same kind of crude oil regularly pass right here on this rail line through the heart of Eugene. Since 2008, oil train traffic around the country has increased to 40 times what it was before, to the point that passenger trains and food and other freight trains are often greatly delayed. Much of this new oil traffic in Lac-Mégantic and here is not traditional crude oil. It is far more explosive. The older oil tanker cars were never designed for it. And even the newer ones are better, but even they have an unfortunate tendency to blow up, as we are seeing too often now in the news all over the country. This new kind of oil comes from fracking. Fracking of the Bakken Shale formations in Montana and the Dakotas. As you probably know, fracking has a tendency to ruin water supplies. It has all kinds of other problems. There's no fracking here in Eugene yet, but oil companies are looking into it. Now, by allowing trains with oil from this fracking to come down this rail line, we are implicitly supporting that extreme energy extraction effort. So if we continue to allow oil trains to come through Eugene, what standing will we have to say no when they want to start fracking here in Oregon? What standing will we have to say no to the pipeline they want to build across southern Oregon, transporting fracked natural gas to Coos Bay and the giant export terminal they want to build there? Of course, even traditional crude oil, as with all fossil fuels, has become a great big problem, as their extraction and burning is one of the greatest contributors to greenhouse gases, which are already turning up temperatures and dangerously changing climates all over the world. So it is past time to stop these oil trains. It's past time to rapidly retire all of our fossil fuel usage and live in actual harmony with the rest of the natural world. I will now read the names of the 47 people who lost their lives 2 years ago today in Lac-Mégantic to our consumeristic way of life, lost their lives to our failure to respond in a more timely way to the ongoing disaster of climate change and the ongoing disaster of our out-of-sync way of life. Alyssa Charest Benyosh, 4 years old. Bianca Charest Benyosh, 9 years old. Talita Kumi Benyosh, 30 years old, the mother of Alyssa and Bianca, who died with them in their apartment. Elodie Turcotte, 18 years old, studying to be a beautician. Frédéric Bouton, 19 years old. Joannie Lapointe, 20 years old, a waitress at Music Cafe where many of these people died. Marie-Sémie Alliance, 22 years old, leaving behind her 18-month-old daughter. Marianne Poulin, 23 years old. Kathy Clouzio, 24 years old, home to visit her family. André-Anne Sevigny, 26 years old, working as she studied to be a nurse.
Excuse me.
We'll be done very soon. Maxime Dubois. Yeah. Maxime Dubois, 27 years old, also died in the Music Cafe 4 days after his partner delivered their first child. David Lacroix Baudouin, 27 years old. Genevieve Breton, 28, aspiring singer in the middle of recording her first album. Eric Pepin, 28 years old, a construction worker. Melissa Roy, 29 years old, working in a local door factory. Kevin Roy, 29 years old, partners with Marianne Poulin. Joni Turmel, 29, an artist and graphic designer. Mathieu Pelletier, 29 years old, a high school math teacher, hockey star, and new father. Jimmy Sirois, 30 years old. Jean-Guy Voyeux, 32 years old. Michel Junior Guertin, 33 years old. Gaëtan Lafontaine, 33 years old, a businessman who rushed into the cafe to save his wife, who also died. Karine Lafontaine, 35 years old, married to Gaëtan and had 2 children. Or to his brother, married to his brother. Yannick Bouchard, 36 years old. Marie-Noëlle Fauché, 36 years old, leaving 2 children. Karine Champagne, 36 years old, celebrating a birthday in Music Cafe, leaving behind 2 sons. David Martin, 36 years old. Stefan Bolduc, a welder and car salesman, also celebrating his birthday at the cafe. Natasha Gaudreau, mother of 2 teenagers. Guy Bolduc, 43 years old, a popular folk singer who left behind his wife and 2 children. Stéphane Lapierre, 45 years old, the father of 2 teenagers and a former railroad worker. Diane Bizier, 46 years old, an assembly line worker, leaving behind a 17-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son. Martin Rodriguez, 48 years old, a stonemason who was working on the sound system in the cafe. Lucy Vadnaï, 49 years old, worked at a local daycare center. Sylvie Charon, a worker at a senior residence, leaving a daughter and granddaughter. Yves Boulet, 51 years old, a musician who was playing drums at the live concert. Jean-Pierre Roy, the father of 3. Denise Dubois, 57, an accomplished musician, dancer, and chef. Réal Cousteau, 57 years old. Henriette Latulippe, 61 years old, a manicurist with a downtown salon. Roger Paquette, 61. Marie-France Boulet, 62 years old. Richard Bayeux, 63. Jacques Giroux, 65 years old, a self-employed renovator, recently retired. Louisette Poirier, 76 years old, leaving behind 3 children and 4 grandchildren. And Louisette's partner, Wilfred Roth, 77 years old. And finally, Eliana Parenteau, 93 years old, a widow, and former owner of the local supermarket.